Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Santa Rita Union School District Board meeting. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 5 p.m. We can please start off with a roll call.
Ms. Cindy Lopez.
Aye.
Ms. Sarah Turner.
Aye.
Mr. Jacob Sandoval. Mr. Neil Patel and Ms. Elva Ariano are not present.
Okay, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving on to item 1.3, approval of the board agenda. Can I please get a motion to approve the agenda?
I motion.
Okay, second.
Second.
Please. Okay, roll call.
Ms. Lopez.
Aye.
Ms. Turner.
Aye.
Mr. Sandoval.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Today on closed session items, we have item 2.1, public employee appointment/employment under Government Code Section 54957. We have 2.2, potential litigation under Government Code Section 54956.8 and 54956.9. And item 2.3, public employee performance evaluation under Government Code Section 54957. We have item 2.4, conference with labor negotiators under Government Code Section 54957.6. Do we have any public comments regarding closed session items?
No, we do not.
Okay, can I please get a motion to adjourn the closed session?
I motion. Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Ms. Lopez.
Aye.
Ms. Turner.
Aye.
Mr. Sandoval.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
We'll see everybody afterwards. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Santa Rita Union School District Board meeting. I'd like to reconvene back into open session. During closed session, nothing was voted on, so we have nothing to report out.
Mr. President, there's been a request to amend the agenda, item 14.1, to cancel our next regularly scheduled board meeting on July 12th, 2023, making our next regular board meeting on July 26th, 2023.
Okay, can I please get a motion to amend the agenda with,
I motion. Second.
okay, roll call?
Ms. Lopez?
Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye.
Mr. Sandoval?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Okay, item 5.1 is approval of consent agenda. Approve of consent agenda items 5.2 to 5.6. Can I please get a motion to approve?
I motion. Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Ms. Lopez?
Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye.
Mr. Sandoval?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to 6.1. Is any comments from SRTA that were submitted?
No comments.
Okay, any comments from CSEA?
No comments.
Okay, everybody's on summer. Superintendent's Cabinet, we'll start off with Mr. Victor Sandoval, Director of MOTF.
Well, good evening, everyone. I just have something to add to my Friday letter. Today, we got confirmation of the restroom delivery, and it's going to be ready to go on July 31st. So I think that's a good thing. And I know I promised you guys a delivery at least in July, right? And a couple of weeks into the school year to get that project completed. However, as you can see on my Friday letter, everything's going pretty smooth. We're on time, we're on budget. And later on today, I do have an agenda item for a change order. So other than that, that's all I have for you guys.
Okay, any questions or comments from the board?
I just want to say thank you, Victor, for attaching all those pictures. It's nice to actually see the progress. So thank you for that.
Yeah, well, it just cuts down on my, on the verbiage of my letter. So 1,000 words per picture, that's pretty good.
Yep.
And then just Victor, Melissa, and I had a brief conversation about potentially doing some like temporary sign or something in Gavilan View in the front on the fencing where the can washing station is until our plants grow up to cover that, just to have a little beautification for the fall.
I could do that. Not a problem.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to Chief Business Officer, Ms. Rosa Zamudio.
Good evening. So during this time of the year, as you know, we're getting close to the end of the fiscal year. We only have 2 more days. So we're getting ready to close some of the grants. This week, we're going to be closing 4 grants that we received through Monterey County Office of Education. Most of them are for special ed. Most of them are one-time grants. So we're really busy working with that and also getting ready to start the process on closing the books. So we're doing journal entries, making sure we got the cash in and making sure we're closing those grants as we move forward. And we're also scheduling our audit visit that is coming up towards the end of July. So it's just going really fast and can't believe it. We're done with the year and we're moving forward to closing the books, getting the audit started, and getting ready for our next report, which is the unedited actuals. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments from the board?
Do we have final budget numbers from the state yet? Are they close?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. They usually have to do it before July 1st. So we're waiting on information.
I know they wait till the last minute. I was just hopeful that they were a couple days early.
Okay. Moving on to Director of Engagement. Oh, it threw me off because that's the way it's worded.
It's the new title.
Yeah, it's the new title. Yeah, Director of Engagement in School Climate, Dr. Summer Prather-Smith.
Thank you. So I just have 2 quick announcements. One, I submitted today the grant to the California Department of Education, the Anti-Bias in Education Grant. We're applying for $200,000 around anti-bias education and professional development. So we should know in August, I think that's what I told Rosa, in August if we've received that grant or not. And that grant really is tied to our work with Centro Binacional and building healthy communities as well. And then I just want to say a quick thank you to the community who has been supporting the family of our student that we lost last week, Eduardo de la Cruz. So thank you to all of our community for stepping in and supporting the family, both with condolences and with monetary donations. So thank you. We'll get that directly to the family.
Okay, no, thank you for bringing that up. I know you shared something where they could donate and
Yeah, we're asking that they directly donate to us so that we can make sure that it gets directly into the hands of the family. So Blanca and I are collecting those, and then she'll take those over to the family. She's working really closely with them, and we've also been able to connect the siblings with counseling support services.
okay, perfect. Thank you for sharing. Any comments or questions from the board? Okay. Director of Curriculum and Instruction, Ms. Donna Coney.
Thank you, everybody. I want to thank First T. They have been kind enough to collect with our new adoption of Eureka Squared and English 3D. First T and their intervention programs they do with their students, they are collecting our old books and opening up places where they're working with their students, and they're going to use our old materials for their intervention programs. And we have, I think, one more delivery for them to pick up in a couple weeks. And so we want to thank First T for being a part of that. Jonathan Hinosa has formerly worked with First T, and he is our campus supervisor, and he's been working Summer Academy, and he's kind of been the liaison to make this happen. So shout out to all of them.
Can I say one thing on that too? Because that's just a point. I wanted to also say thank you to Victor and his team. We were also able to use some of our furniture instead of trashing it. It's going to be going to the Deaf Hard of Hearing program at Toro Park School. Their principal came over and was able to pick out items that were of use to them. So those will go over and support the Deaf Hard of Hearing program. And then Michelle Ross from Graves School also came over and met with Victor and was able to use those materials at Graves. So we were excited to pass the wealth on to others. Sorry.
No, thank you so much. I was wondering where they were all going. I know they were being adopted somewhere. And Victor's team is going to be, as soon as Summer Academy's out, starting to move that furniture out to bring that furniture in that transition. And Summer Academy is finishing up. I know, Jacob, you had mentioned about popping by, so tomorrow or Friday, if you wanted to pop by. If they haven't done so already, Kinders are making tie-dye shirts, and there's some smoothies being made for the last couple days over at the elementary school. The English and math classes have been going really strong, and they've kept them engaged. And I want to thank all the teachers, all the paras, all the support staff, the office staff, our administrators. We have 19 people at Avid right now, and the teachers that were working Summer Academy, it went really smooth transitioning those people to be able to go to Summer Academy as well as do the Avid Summer Institute. So shout out to Krisha for collecting that team together, and the rest of our Summer Academy team to make that work so well.
Okay. And I think Friday I can make time. So I'll reach out to you, so maybe Friday morning.
Okay, if you could reach out to Melissa,
Okay.
that would be. I'm going to be driving.
Is going to be out.
Okay.
Friday.
Okay, Friday.
I'm
Okay,
on
I'll
a
reach out
road
to you.
trip.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Or I don't know if it's Melissa
here also.
or Summer.
Yes, I'll be here.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Any questions or comments from the board? Okay. Assistant Superintendent of Human Resource, Ms. Becky Moore.
Thank you. I don't think I have anything new to report tonight, so I'll just save my time for my items.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the board and the superintendent, starting off with Ms. Cindy Lopez.
I really don't have much to report. Just it's nice to see that our books and material that we have here, desks, chairs, and that are being used and giving a second life. Also, it's really nice to see that our community is coming together for our student that left, and then and so yeah, thank you, ladies. Thank you, all of the directors that put in the work and make all of this happen. Thank you, guys.
Okay, Ms. Sarah Turner.
Nothing to report.
Okay. For myself, I know I had a brief conversation with Summer about reaching out to the city to see how we can advocate, maybe to create some type of partnership for the crossing areas. I want to see if, Cindy, you'd be open to meeting with me and maybe some of the city council members and kind of share that a little bit.
Of course, I would love to do that. I've seen it firsthand, so it would be awesome for us to kind of get something going.
Okay, so what I'll do is we'll start creating a group chat and then kind of start engaging. Okay. Any public regarding non-agenda items?
You got me. My report.
Oh, so sorry.
That's okay. No worries. Just briefly, I know it's that time of year again, so I just wanted to give the board sort of an update on our transfer request. So this year, I have super fresh numbers too. We have allowed 247 of our requests out to other districts, and we have had 238 requests accepted in. We do have another 29 pending approval by their home district. Some of our neighboring districts aren't really releasing their students right now, and so we're working with them as best that we can to get that. And we currently have 21 students on our wait list for our middle schools.
And is that 21 included in the 238, or is that separate?
They're separate. So for our middle schools, it's really about space that we have available, particularly incoming seventh graders. So we tend to have a big sixth grade class, and so when they roll up to seventh grade, it limits how many incoming seventh graders we can take. Otherwise, class sizes get raised much higher than our desired limit on those, and so we always have to balance that. And then a lot of times for the waitlisted middle schoolers, as spaces come opening, and it's a first apply, first in, right? As we do the rolling acceptance of the wait list. As we get closer to the school year, families let us know that they've moved. We have students disenroll. We work with those families who are on the wait list in that order in which they were placed on the wait list to get them in as much as we can.
And is this because of the other districts kind of going from K to 6 and then transitioning to 7th?
So we do get a larger influx of requests for 7th grade because of that. And so anytime that we have a very large 6th grade class matriculating up to be 7th grade, it impacts our ability to take in outside 7th graders. We have to first make sure that we can serve our students in our district.
Yeah.
And that's interesting. I was just thinking, because as far as when you think of like capacity at school sites, a lot of times it depends capacity at what grade level, right? Because some grade level classes are a little bigger than others.
Yeah.
And then, so it's like if you have an 8th grader, sure, we have space. 7th, not so much.
Right.
With the 29 that are pending, mostly because their own district won't release them, do we know if any of those people have gone to the county board to ask for help?
Okay, go ahead.
I've been working with those parents so they're not at the county board yet. A couple of them have submitted appeals, and upon appeal, the district approved. So some of them are kind of in that process where they've said they're going to submit a county appeal and they're waiting to meet with their superintendents.
Thank you.
And this is for the upcoming school year, so still plenty of time. Perfect. Okay, thank you. Okay, and my apologies, Dr. Alterman, for 7.1, any public comments regarding non-agenda items?
There are no public comments.
Okay, and I imagine no public comments regarding agenda items.
Correct.
Okay, 8.1, approval of the July 1st budget 2023 to 2024. At the last meeting, we had our public hearing on July 14th. So this is to approve the budget.
That's exactly what it is. We are required per Ed Code to board approve the July 1st budget before July 1st. Just keep in mind that this is the first draft of the budget. I'm already thinking we're going to have to do a 45-day budget revision. And as we move forward, we're going to be adjusting the budget as it is a living item and it's moving as we go and as we receive more information.
I'm going to make a motion to approve, but I also want to just give my extreme thanks to Rose's department, but everybody else for this is a huge document. It represents everything that we do. And I'm just incredibly grateful for the professionalism of the cabinet as a whole. So thank you.
Thank you.
Was that a motion?
That was, it started with a motion.
Okay. Can I get a second, please?
I second.
Okay, roll call.
Ms. Lopez?
Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye.
Mr. Sandoval?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Okay, 8.2, approval of a one-year agreement with, is it? Edie
Bailey.
Edie Bailey for accounting CPA services.
That is my item as well. And this is exactly what it is, CPA services. So sometimes we have those grants with guidance from the state that it's not very clear how we need to treat them or the procedures. So we usually use our free services, which is County Office of Ed, to get guidance. If it's a unique circumstance, sometimes they don't know the answer or they tell us check with our auditor, then we go and check with the auditor and they tell us this is what we're going to check. And when we have different agencies telling us different guidance, we go with CPA license, with CPA licensed certified people, which is our consultants, and we get guidance, and then we process best practices. They have over 30 years of experience working not only with districts here in Monterey County, but California-wide. So it's been very useful, and we only use them to close the books. So it's usually during this time when we get stuck and we need additional help. I know the budget it's set up for $7,000. Last year we only use about $1,500. So we only use them for emergencies.
Thank you. And motion to approve?
I second that.
Okay, roll call, please.
Ms. Lopez?
Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye.
Mr. Sandoval?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Okay, 8.3, approval of change order number 1 for the John Gutierrez Locker Rooms Playground Grading Project.
Yes, that's my item. So this is a change order that kind of falls into the program of my deferred maintenance. And this is reconditioning asphalt areas where we're not being removed on the playground. And it also addresses a small hiccup on where all our asphalt needs are concrete, where we could actually remove a swath of a foot swath around those areas so that it eliminates the tripping hazards. Again, like I said, it's on my deferred maintenance program that I'm trying to address this next coming year, which is going to address New Republic, Santa Rita, and McKinnon school sites. It's evident that, where these tripping hazards are at, once we get inspectors coming over, they'll probably write us up anyways. So I'm going to try and take care of it now and not have to deal with it later. So this is a change order for $27,390. I think it's a great price since we have the contractor on site. He's willing to do it, and I'm hoping for your approval tonight.
Motion to approve?
I just have a question, Victor.
Yes.
Can you just elaborate so I could understand correctly? Is this just for John Gutierrez or, yeah, okay.
Yes,
I
that is
second.
correct.
Okay, I second.
Okay, roll call.
Ms. Lopez?
Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye.
Mr. Sandoval?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Okay, item 9.1, approval of a new .4687 full-time food service assistant at Gavilan View Middle School.
Thank you. And that means 3 hours.
Okay.
3 3/4 hour, 3 hour, 45 minutes, which aligns with positions across the district. And so with the new cafeteria funding that we are receiving next year, we would like to add one part-time food service assistant to the GV kitchen team in order to work towards Chuck's goal for more serving stations.
I had a question. I know at one point we were talking about circling around back to looking at classified staff in terms of things like this, where, how many children per food service worker, like how many classrooms per custodial worker. So at that point, at some point I would like to cycle back around to that so that, but in the meantime, to potentially address that, I make a motion to approve.
And I second with saying that I'm sure that that's going to make a difference because that was one of our, concerns, parents' concerns of those lines during lunch that students, were expressing how exaggerated those lines were. So that's awesome. So thank you guys for that. Second.
Okay, roll call.
Ms. Lopez?
Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye.
Mr. Sandoval?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Okay, item 9.2, approval of position, control maintenance, closure of position, addition of position.
Thank you. I'm going to respond to Sarah really quickly on that last question because I have the data that I can share with you. And it actually, per meals served, didn't support an additional person, but in order to establish more locations, it does. But I will send that information to all of you.
Thank you.
So for 9.2, again, going through our position control, Donna and Rosa discovered that we had a position that we assigned our EL specialist to, a position that we had in the books that was funded with the right budget source, but realized it didn't have the right title. So just for clean position control, we would like to close the existing position and open a new one with the correct title, the same budget source, no change to funding or cost.
One, just Jacob and Cindy and everybody who's watching, just let you know that you can get in trouble by the state if things have the wrong title, because then they argue with you that you used the wrong funding. So this does have wider repercussions. So it's absolutely important that it be labeled correctly. So motion to approve, and sorry about hitting the microphone.
Do we know what we're going to title and?
Yes, so currently they're both teacher positions, but one teacher position is in the LCAP as an EL specialist, and so that's what the position will be called instead of teacher, even though they are both teacher positions with the same rights and compensation and all of that.
Okay, I second.
Okay. Roll call.
Ms. Lopez?
Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye.
Mr. Sandoval?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Okay, item 10.1, approval of contract for Maxim Healthcare Services for 2 speech and language pathologists.
Thank you. Melanie is on vacation, and so I'm going to present her items for her. So this item is for 2 contracted SLPs. We have been doing a great deal of recruitment. Melanie and I have an opportunity to do additional recruitment later this month that we're looking forward to. But in the meantime, we do need to be able to provide the services for our students who have it in their IEPs. So this would be for 2 SLPs through Maxim Healthcare Services. And it's SLPs who would be continuing to work with us.
Okay. And I know Ms. Lopez had brought up, going forward, I know we do a lot of contract whenever we can't fill a position, so we have to go to a contract basis. If in the future, if it's possible, I'm not sure if we can set it up as like a policy or guideline where, like in this case, there's 2 speech and language pathologists. If we can, for transparency as the board knowledge, is how many positions are needed district-wide? Mm-hmm. How many of those positions are filled by actual Santa Rita district employees? And then how many positions we're contracting. So like, for example, and I know that you guys can do this in the future, but like if there's a way for ongoing boards and kind of, so that would happen. So like if this item came forward, it'd be like 2 language pathologists. Currently our district has 6, but we can only hire 3, which we need to contract 2.
Yeah, definitely. I'll pass that on.
Okay, all right.
With that, I motion.
Okay,
Second.
okay, roll call.
Ms. Lopez?
Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye.
Mr. Sandoval?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Okay. Item 10.2, approval of contract for PBIS training, positive behavior interventions in sports.
As part of our MTSS plans, we will be beginning to implement PBIS next school year. So this contract is for a trainer to come and train our administrators in July, and then train the entire district at our professional development day in November.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve?
I motion.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Ms. Lopez?
Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye.
Mr. Sandoval?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Okay, item 11.1 is resolution number 23.06.17, LGBTQ plus Pride Month. Sarah would like to read the resolution?
Thank you. Whereas it is policy of the Santa Rita Union School District that all persons, including those who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer, have an equal and non-discriminatory opportunity to a quality public education experience. And whereas many lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or queer youth and youth perceived to belong to these groups still face harassment and physical violence in communities. And whereas the Santa Rita Union School District deplores harassment and physical violence or the threat of such against any of our students, faculty, and staff. And whereas the Santa Rita Union School District Board of Education believes that the rich variety and diversity of families and communities is one of Santa Rita Union School District's strengths, and furthermore believes that a family is a supportive unit composed of various genders, orientations, cultures, races, and ethnicities. And whereas the Santa Rita Union School District values and welcomes diversity of our student body, our teachers, our staff, and our administrators, including the diversity of sexual orientation and identity in our community. And whereas the Santa Rita Union School District has made a commitment to achieving and fostering diversity and tolerance in our staff, our school population. And therefore be it resolved that the Santa Rita Union School District proclaim June 2023 Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender, and Queer Pride Month. And hopefully passed and adopted this 28th day of June 2023 by the following vote.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for reading. And as we make a motion, I know a lot of times this is a lot of our ceremonial, but I think it's important to make a statement of where we stand as a district in the public and read it out loud. So I do appreciate that, and I fully support the resolution. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
And I would like to say that, it is very important what you said, Jacob, as a district to show that, and we are seeing it. So thank you guys so much, all the directors, the engagement we're having. And, we were talking about wanting to see other, groups and more, support from different communities, to get involved in that. But with that, I second, but I'm proud of what we're doing. Thank you, ladies.
Okay, roll call.
Ms. Lopez?
Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye.
Mr. Sandoval?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Okay, item 12.1, approval of the arts, music, and instructional materials and grant budget plan.
Thank you. I presented about this last week, but it was on this week's agenda, or last time. So it's the art and it's the music, it's the arts instructional materials and music grant that we received half of, and not sure if we're going to receive the other half or not. So if we do, we will do another plan and bring it to the board.
Okay.
Do we have any clue about the proposition money and if and when that is coming?
The Proposition 28 did not have a deadline of 6:30 to put a plan through, so we've been discussing different ideas. There are still some ambiguity questions that working with the county on, so they said to go slow and smart on this when I talked to them a few weeks ago about it. So I'm hoping that we can script something around it because, again, there's some other conversations about clarity of what 80% staffing and things like that. What does that really look like across the district or at a site?
Thank you. And motion to approve 12.1.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Ms. Lopez?
Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye.
Mr. Sandoval?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Okay, item 12.2, approval of the local cultural control accountability plan, LCAP, for the 2022-2023 school year.
And we had our hearing last week on this with the draft, and this has now come forward for board approval and adoption for our LCAP for next year. After it's board approved, then it will go to the county, and if they make any major recommendations, we'll bring it back. But usually it's just the little edits here and there.
So this supposed to be 23-24, or is that correct on the year?
It's the 23-24 LCAP.
Okay. No, it's because
Oh, 12 on 12.2 on the agenda.
Oh,
It's
I
the wrong
missed that.
school year. Within, if you click on it, all of the year things are correct. It's just
Okay.
the title that's wrong.
Oh, I needed. Thank you.
That's okay. So just make the motion with.
Yeah,
caveat.
I'm going to make a motion to approve 12.2 with the clarification that we are talking about the 2023-2024 school year.
Correct. Thank you.
And I second that.
Okay, roll call.
Ms. Lopez?
Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye.
Mr. Sandoval?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Okay, item 14.1. So we had an amendment to the motion. Our next regular board meeting will actually be July 26, 2023. And then 14.2 is any suggested future board items?
Not at this time.
Okay. With that, can I please get a motion to adjourn at 7:57?
I motion.
56.
6:57.
Yeah.
I think I saw the 7. Thank you.
I motion.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Ms. Lopez?
Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye.
Mr. Sandoval?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Okay, enjoy everybody. Have a nice little break.
Thank you.